What is Kubernetes and how does it work? Kubernetes is an open-source platform for managing containerized workloads and services. It provides a framework for deploying, scaling, and managing containerized applications across clusters of hosts. Kubernetes works by managing a set of resources, including containers, pods, services, and volumes, using a declarative configuration model. What is a Kubernetes pod? A pod is the smallest deployable unit in Kubernetes. It represents a single instance of a running process in a cluster and can contain one or more containers. Pods are managed by the Kubernetes scheduler, which schedules them to run on specific nodes in the cluster. What is a Kubernetes service? A Kubernetes service is an abstraction that defines a set of pods and provides a stable endpoint for accessing them. Services enable communication between different parts of an application within a Kubernetes cluster, and they can be used to expose an application to the outside world. What is a Kubernetes node? A Kubernetes node is a worker machine in the cluster that runs containerized applications. Each node has its own set of resources, including CPU, memory, and storage, and can run multiple pods. What is a Kubernetes deployment? A Kubernetes deployment is a higher-level abstraction that manages a set of pods and their associated replica sets. Deployments enable declarative updates to the desired state of an application, including rolling out new versions, rolling back to previous versions, and scaling up or down. What is a Kubernetes replica set? A Kubernetes replica set is a lower-level abstraction that ensures a specified number of pod replicas are running at any given time. Replica sets are used by deployments to manage the lifecycle of pods and enable scaling. What is a Kubernetes volume? A Kubernetes volume is a directory that can be mounted into a container in a pod. Volumes enable data to persist across container restarts and can be used for sharing data between containers. What is a Kubernetes namespace? A Kubernetes namespace is a virtual cluster within a physical cluster. Namespaces provide a way to divide cluster resources between multiple users, teams, or applications and enable better resource management and isolation. What is a Kubernetes config map? A Kubernetes config map is a key-value store for storing configuration data that can be used by pods and other Kubernetes objects. Config maps enable separation of configuration from application code and enable easier management of configuration data. What is a Kubernetes secret? A Kubernetes secret is a way to store and manage sensitive information, such as passwords, OAuth tokens, and SSH keys. Secrets enable secure storage of confidential information and can be used by pods and other Kubernetes objects.